Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be another eyeshadow color focused video. This is a project I am doing with my good friend Elisabeth, and once a month we are posting a video focusing on a certain color in our eyeshadow collection. Last month, of course, we kicked it off with the Pantone color of the year, which was Living Coral. And we both kind of went through our collection and pulled out some shadows that fell within that category. In honor of Valentine's Day and the month of love, we decided to go with baby pink because that's pretty much what I think of when I think of February. Before I get started, I just wanted to remind you that Elisabeth's channel will be linked down below. Please go check her video out as well. Elisabeth is a good friend of mine. She is from Denmark, and I don't know about you guys, but there's something about an accent that I cannot get enough of. It doesn't have to be a Danish accent, but any accent is pretty fabulous. Watching somebody on YouTube with an accent is a little bit more interesting than watching somebody speak in just American English, if you ask me. Elisabeth is a project panner and a makeup lover. So please go check out her channel today. I know you'll love her. All right, I knew I had a lot of baby pink eyeshadows. I happen to love pink eyeshadow. It is one of my go-to colors. It is practically a neutral in my book, and I do think there's something about the shade of pink or light pink that does a lot for me, well, whether I have brown or purple hair, but because of the color of my eyes and my skin tone, I just think it's a flattering shade on me. So I knew I had a lot of pinks because I tend to buy them over and over again. It's just such a pretty feminine shade, and if you put out a palette with a pink eyeshadow, I'm really likely to want it because I just am gravitated towards the shade of pink. Now, specifically, the shade that we're gonna be talking about today is a baby pink. So a light pink. I would take it all the way to like bubblegum pink, but that's it, no deeper. And it's kind of on the cool tone side. At least that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for warm tone pinks. I was looking specifically for more cool tone pinks to go for today's video. Even though I tried to narrow this category down as much as possible, I still managed to find a lot. We decided to go with either shimmers or mattes. We weren't going to restrict ourselves in that way. So you will see a combination of both shimmers and mattes out of my collection today. I basically had to stop pulling out eyeshadows because this video would have been 10 hours long. So I pulled out a ton, and when I felt like I had enough, I stopped because I have a lot of pink. I had the best intentions to count out exactly how many light pink eyeshadows I owned, but it just got to be overwhelming because I have a stupid amount of light pink eyeshadow. I am from this point henceforth denying myself any buying of light pink eyeshadows. It's not allowed. I need to finish like 10 light pink eyeshadows before I could buy one new light pink eyeshadow because this is ridiculous. It is bananas. So let's get into it. Let me start showing you some of these eyeshadows I have, and we'll do some swatches. When I am doing a pink eyeshadow look, I love to start with a light pink base on my eyes, and the best one for that is Maybelline's Color Tattoo Inked in Pink. It is just the most perfect light pink shade. It has, oh, I really screwed this cap on tight. It has a little bit of shimmer to it that will make your eyelids pop, especially when you add a shimmery eyeshadow on top of it. Got a little bit of a dip going on in there. I really like this shade. It's one of those products that I would probably buy again if this either dried up or if I panned it down the road. I have a ColourPop Super Shock shadow that is light pink perfection, and it is the shade Bubbly. This is a Super Shock shadow, and I hit pan on it last year. And I'll give you a little swatch of this. There it is right there. That's ColourPop's Bubbly. It is a gorgeous light pink shade. I thought I'd pull out some oldies for this video and take you guys on a stroll down memory lane. This is Maybelline's Roller Color in the shade Pink Mambo. Yeah, I think that says Pink Mambo. And it looks like this. Does anybody remember this beauty? There's a roller ball and you just roll it onto your eyes and the pigment comes out. See it right there? This is probably one of my first eyeshadows. I've had this forever. I doubt I'll ever finish it. There's a lot of product in there, but it's just so cute. Right there. Throw a little Maybelline color tattoo and roll this on top of it and you're out the door. This is another old one. This is from Milani and this is the shade Girls Love Pink. And this was what their single eyeshadows used to look like this. And they were like this big baked dome circle. And this is a very light pink, almost whitish. It was kind of difficult picking these out because there's some whites that look pink and some pinks that look white. But that's a very light pink right there. I also have a different Milani single shadow in Bella Rose, which is another discontinued product, but much newer than the former one. And this one has a little bit of almost lavender in it. It's like a purpley pink. Well, it looks straight up pink when I swatch it. It seems like there's a little bit of purple in it. Right there. That's gorgeous. I love pink eyeshadow. I just love it. I have a couple of loose pigments. One's more of a glitter, and this is from Anasui. It's probably not going to swatch well without some glitter glue, so I'm not going to swatch it. But when I'm in the mood for a pinky glitter, I got one. Plus, I have a loose pigment from Lancome. It's called Silver Stiletto. There's nothing silver about this. It is a straight up pink. I'm confused. But it's a little Lancome pigment. When I ran across my favorite Smashbox trio, I had to pull it out. Now I love this matte pink shade, but this is much more of a dusty kitty. This is much more of a dusty pink, not a baby pink. But if you're looking for just a little bit of glitter and a baby pink eye look, either of these will work. I like this cool toned one particularly. It's like a pink, a light pinky. It's again more of a, I don't know, it's just gorgeous. Where can I stick that? Right there. There's enough of a deep base to give it a lot of pigment, but that is gorgeous for pink looks. I love it. I need to rinse my hands off. That was 8 things, 8 pinks right there. Oh my gosh, I have so much pink. Another gorgeous baby pink with a little bit of shimmer is from my, it's another Milani. I have a lot of Milani eyeshadow. This is a Fierce Foil Eye Shine, and this is 02 Rome, and it's mostly a purpley palette. That's why I bought it. But there is this gorgeous baby pink right there, and it is such a nice little topper. It's a creamy, flaky texture. It's a very strange texture, but it's beautiful. I should use it more often. And that's what it looks like right there. Holy cow, that's gorgeous. I also have a Physicians Formula shimmer strips for hazel eyes. And I think that this shadow right here is a beautiful baby pink. I don't know if I've ever actually worn this eyeshadow on my eyes. I feel like this palette looks pretty much brand new, which is so typical of me. There's gonna be a lot of maiden voyage swatches going on today with palettes that I've never actually touched. But that's kind of, look at that. That's kind of the point of this project. Elisabeth and I are trying to kind of put these videos together to shop our stash, remind us of what we have, remind us that we don't need any of these colors that we're featuring, and to hopefully remind you of what you might have in your stash, because we all got light pink. From this Lorac Summer Glow eyeshadow palette that looks like this. There is one nice little pink right there. Nice little baby pink. And it's fairly pigmented. Some of these I was kind of surprised by how nicely pigmented they were. Right there. Can you see it? It's kind of matching my skin tone, but when I turn it one way, you can really see it. That is a nice pink. A little bit deeper than a lot of the ones I've shown you so far, but nice. I dug out my old BH Cosmetics Enhancing Eyes for gorgeous green eyes. I do not have green eyes. But I found this pink right here, which is a nice baby pink. Kitty! That's your neighbor dog. Be nice. When I saw this palette online, I thought it was like the size of an Urban Decay Naked palette. Boy, was I wrong. It is tiny. I still like it though. I swatched it right there. It's a little bit dustier, but it's a beautiful pink. All right, my e.l.f. Prism eyeshadow palette in Sunset has two really nice baby pinks that are very shimmery. Something just fell. This one is a light pink, and this one's more of a baby pink. And they're both beautiful. Right there. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. I have this MAC Plum Luxe Volux Pearl Fusion shadow. This shadow is a really interesting formula. It's kind of soft and it's kind of like that Milani one, kind of flaky and soft. And this is a very cool toned pink right there. Very cool toned. Nice, it's a nice like topper kind of shade. Not, it doesn't really stand alone, but if you just pat that on top of your finished look, that'll leave a nice effect. This is the Lorac Champagne Dreams eyeshadow palette. Kitty. And there's one really nice pinky shade right here. It's mostly a neutral palette, but this shade is a gorgeous pink. Nicely pigmented. I feel like my lights are not picking up. I don't know. These four palettes have been living in my bathroom for the last few months, and there were 4 pinks in each of these palettes that I have access to every day. First, in my Urban Decay Moondust palette, we have the shade Spectre that I'm trying to hit pan on. It is that one right there. I use this as a topper. I don't use it alone, but when I have a finished look and I'd like a little pink something on top, I go for that. Right there. In my Pan That palette, I have the shade Whimsical from Makeup Geek. This shade is stunning. My favorite way to use it is on my inner corner or the inner third of my eyelid. It's a very cool toned pink that is almost white. It is so brilliant and light, but it has absolutely been a joy to rediscover that little single in my palette, and I would recommend it to anyone. Bam! Look at that. It is so pretty. In my Too Faced Life's a Festival palette, there are a lot of lovely, lovely duochrome shadows, but there's actually a matte pink shadow that is so beautiful. It is gorgeous. It's a little bit of a bolder pink, but I'm gonna put it in the light pink category. It's right there. And it's, again, a nicely pigmented shadow that's just a plain matte shadow in a sea of like fancy little duochrome things. And that is it right here. That pink shadow really is gorgeous. I love it and I can't wait to use it on my eyes. Up next in my e.l.f. 100 pan palette, I have two eyeshadows. Well, three eyeshadows that I would call baby pink, depending on how light or deep you want to go. This matte eyeshadow I had hit pan on previously. It reminds me of Hubba Bubba Bubblegum. I think it is such a beautiful crease shade or transition shade. I love it. This pink shade down here is very similar, but this little light pink down here should not be overlooked either. It's a really nice light pink shade. I can get plenty of product up in a swatch. Get all these swatched. All right, light pink, bubblegum, and the second bubblegum. It's a little bit deeper. So yeah, three pinks right in that one palette that I have access to. Okay, we're not even close to done. We're just starting. So we're gonna go through a lightning round here because this video is not gonna be an hour long. I am just going to start whizzing through this. Who remembers the Too Faced Love palette? There is a gorgeous pink in here. Right here. Beautiful baby pink little heart. Lovely. Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons. You could go with cotton candy or sprinkles, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch cotton candy. Oh, love it. My Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I love this palette. I think it's nice if you're going for just a really pale, dusty baby pink. It doesn't get cuter than Georgia. I don't know if it's gonna show up in a swatch. It's a little bit of a warmer pink, as you would expect from a peach palette. So if you want something a little bit warmer, you could go with Georgia. In the Too Faced Gingerbread palette, you can do Sugar Daddy right down there. Right there. We can't have a light pink discussion without the Naked 3 palette from Urban Decay. So in there, I think the perfect baby pink shadows are, well, let's just stick with one. I'm gonna say Dust. Dust is a gorgeous baby pink shadow. It would probably be a go-to for me if I was doing a look from that palette. It's another one that in the light, it looks almost icy or white. Very, very beautiful. In my brand new Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, which I have not touched yet, I would say the shade Bang Bang is a little bit brighter than light pink, but I'm gonna swatch it for you guys anyways. So definitely deeper than the one from the Naked 3 palette. From my ice cream palette from Dose of Colors, we have a gorgeous pink shade called Bubblegum. Right there. It is so pretty. Definitely a cooler pink. That is so stunning. Love it. Okay, back to Too Faced. I have my I Want Candy palette. I would say the shade Frosted Pink is a pretty solid light pink. Here it is right here. And here it is compared to the other light pinks that I own. It's amazing how they're all just a little bit different from each other. At least I think so. In the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette, you have the shade Electric, which is bright, but definitely a light pink shade, baby pink. Okay, maybe that's not so baby pink. That is amazing. I'm throwing it in this video anyways. I'm not deleting it out. I also have my Venus XL from Lime Crime. And there's two shades that kind of jump out at me. Well, three, honestly. It's a pink palette, so there's lots of pinks. But this shade called Scallop, this shade called Goddess, and this shade called Ethereal are all three gorgeous baby pinks. Let's do Scallop, Goddess, Ethereal. Scallop, got it. Oh, that's warm. Goddess. Whoa, that's dark. Okay, take out Goddess. You know what? None of those are really pinky pink. You guys shocked me there. Holy cow, I did not see that coming. You are not baby pink. In my Deuce palette from Juvia's Place, there is a gorgeous baby pink right here. It is called Puffs. Right there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that is too much. In my Huda Beauty palette, these are all kind of dusty versions of pink, but I was gonna go ahead and swatch this one here. That's the shade Tickle. I'll go ahead and swatch Daydream too, the one that looks like rocks. These are a little bit too dusty to be baby pink, but oh yeah, Tickle's way too dusty. Yeah. There's Tickle and there's Rocks. In another Juvia's Place palette, the Magic, I have a shade up here. It's spelled O-S-U-N. Osun? Osun? I'll say Osun. That is gorgeous. Let's see if it's as beautiful as the one from the Deuce palette. It is. It is just as stunning. Oh my gosh. You guys. Gotta bust out those Juvia's Place palettes. This Eyes on the 60s palette from BH Cosmetics is one that I received as a gift with purchase. There is a beautiful bubblegummy shade right in the center, right there. And it looks like that. It's a little bit light. Not very pigmented compared to those Juvia's Place shadows, but there's a place for it. In my Sephora Pro New Nudes palette, the shade Bubblegum right up here is a gorgeous light pink. Beautiful. In the original Lorac Mega Pro, there are a couple of really pretty light pink shades. This Orchid up here and Blush down here are both very, very pretty light pinks. This is Blush and this is Orchid. And in the Too Faced Natural Love palette, the shade Bunny Nose just kind of jumps out at me when I open this palette every time. Although there's a couple of other very nice light pink shades in that palette as well. Oh my gosh, I love that shade. That's gorgeous. Okay, it's the home stretch, guys. I have one last stack of eyeshadow palettes to talk about before we wrap this video up. First of all, I had to pull out my Christmas gift from this past year. This is the Blood Sugar palette from Jeffree Star, and I got it from my husband. And the shade Candy Floss is a gorgeous baby pink. I have never once touched this palette. This is the first time. It's actually the first time I'm touching a lot of these palettes. Let's see if Candy Floss is everything it's hyped up to be. That's really nice. It's not as blinding as the Juvia's Place palettes, but it is a beautiful pink. In the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, there are some gorgeous pinks, a matte and a shimmer or baked formula, and they are here and here. This one is the Leo and this one is, I guess, the Virgo. I've never used this palette. I would love to do like a palette bingo or something with this someday. So let me know if you guys want to see that. That's the matte. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so foiled, and it's just applied dry on my wrinkly old hands. It's so gorgeous. In my Urban Decay 20-Year Vice Limited Reloaded palette, there is a shade called Hot Pants right there. That's a really cool tone pink too, almost bluish. That is gorgeous. In my Morphe times Jaclyn Hill, in my Morphe times Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm gonna swatch this third one up here. Don't ask me what it's called because I have one of the old ones without the names on them. Doesn't really matter anyways. Right there. In another Morphe palette, this is the 35E, and I really should have had this palette out for the last video as well, because after that video was done filming, I was like, yeah, that's living coral right there. Oh well, too many palettes. But for this video, this shade right here, I think is a beautiful light baby pink. I've never used this palette even once. That's my first time even swatching it. Right there. That swatched really nicely too. Very nice. And then finally I have two of my Smashbox palettes. For this one, I want to show you one of the Transformer shades. Oh, I just dug my nail in there. Right here, I think that's a really pretty light pink. For the other Masterclass palette from Smashbox, I'm going to go with this one right here. Right there. It's not very, it's not doing much right there. Certainly not great compared to some of the other pinks I've swatched, but like I said, even not super pigmented eyeshadows have a place in my eye looks, and I rely on them sometimes to kind of calm down things when they've gotten a little too pigmented. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed all of these swatches. The whole point of this video is to say to myself, good Lord, Paula, whatever you do, do not buy any more pink eyeshadows. And to kind of remind all of us that we need to shop our stash more. I mean, myself more than most, but we can all shop our stash and find a pink eyeshadow. Regardless of what new palette has just come out that has us pulling ourselves towards it like a moth to a flame, we probably have those eyeshadows in our stash. And that's the whole point of this video. If you do not have a single light pink eyeshadow in your stash and you're thinking, but Paula, I don't have a pink eyeshadow and I need a pink eyeshadow. Stop. Hold on 1 second, because you need to check your blush stash first. Now, some people with really, really sensitive eyes might not be able to use blush on their eyelids because it's a different formulation. But for most people, you can use a blush on your eyelids just like any eyeshadow. And odds are you have a light pink blush, even if you don't have a single light pink eyeshadow. Lord knows I have 100 light pink blushes. So I need to stop. I hope you guys enjoyed me pulling out all of these different eyeshadows and swatching them for you. It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry my swatches aren't that great. I feel like it's a lighting thing. The ring light is great until I want to swatch something, and then it kind of gets in the way. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.